Hey everyone, I wanted to convey a little bit about my peptide journey and where I'm headed in life and how long I want to live. And so I felt inspired. My wife said, why don't you just tell everybody what you're doing? So currently, now I'm going to blow this out of the water, I'm on 12 peptides. So my journey started about a year ago, and I got with a doctor and we did blood work and I went on trizipatide. And at the time I was 240 pounds. Today I weighed myself, I was 172. So I went from 240 to 172. You do the math and figure out how much I lost, but it was a lot. It's a lot, and it dramatically changed. That weight loss dramatically changed my life. It gave me a window. I have this window to where I feel good, my feet don't hurt, I don't have the back pain. I was carrying 60 pounds, a cement bag on my back. My back feels better, I sleep better, all of the things. Now, I'm also taking a lot of other peptides, I'm going to show you here in a second, that are clearing the visceral fat, helping me sleep, helping my skin heal from the inside out, helping my mental clarity, and my muscles recover in the Wolverine stack. So there's several peptides that I'm taking, and I'll get a little into all of that. These are the protocols that I'm researching on myself. I started down that journey because all of these people are losing weight on GLP-1s. And I thought, okay, let's start out. I'm going to try trizipatide, which is the GLP-2, because it has two amino acid chains. It affects two different parts of the body. So I went on that with a doctor, and the doctor prescribed, the starting dose was 3 and it went all the way up to 12. And then she said, take it every 7 days. Me being a cheap ass, I wanted to really be cautious. And I took it one every 14 days is my injection. And I took one injection and then another injection. I think it went up to like 5 milligrams or 6 milligrams, my second protocol. And this is after a 14-day period and a 14-day period between injections. I went on a cruise because we have our YouTube channel, Burgess Cruises, and I lost 6 pounds on the Carnival Cruise Line. And it's all you can eat. And I'd take a bite and I'm like, I'll eat. I love food. It tastes good. It just, you can't eat that much. It's just like you're not hungry. You don't crave snacks. It takes away all that food noise. And I thought to myself, this amino acid chain, which is a peptide, which is the same thing as insulin, which people have been injecting themselves with insulin forever. This amino acid chain, trizipatide, is working. And I had no side effects whatsoever. It was amazing. And then my weight loss journey, I kept losing weight. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I still enjoyed food. I just cut down the quantities. Now I'm a general contractor, so I'm always out in the field working and lifting and moving and crawling and going through attics. And I'm hands-on. So I am getting plenty of exercise every day that I'm out in the field. So I wasn't necessarily losing muscle mass as much as visceral fat, and just the food noise disappeared. So I was on a weight loss decline like you wouldn't believe. In Arizona, it's hot. I'm out working. I'm sweating. And then I happened to by chance, I have a Stanley and I mix emergency powder drink and a wild strawberry mix in there. And so I'm getting electrolytes. But apparently that's one of the side effects of the GLPs is that you lose electrolytes, which leads to all sorts of fatigue and a lot of things like that. I had none of that. But my protocols is I've always eaten pretty healthy, not crazy. I gave up soda years ago. I don't drink soda. I do love my wife's pumpkin bread. She makes from scratch. She has on our YouTube channel. We do have her. She's so cute. She's in the kitchen here, and she explains her pumpkin bread recipe, which makes my mouth water just thinking about it. It's an amazing recipe. She cooks it all year long, so 3 loaves at a time. So I have that. So that's my indulgence. But generally, I eat pretty healthy. I really don't go to McDonald's or fast food. Every day she makes me a lunch. If you can look on my Instagram account, I have love notes. Oh, here she is, the author of my love notes, walking through the camera there. So I eat pretty healthy. She makes me a sandwich. I go to work, and then she cooks like a fiend. We raised 5 kids, and she's always been a big cooker. So she cooks these Crockpot meals that just melt your mouth. And I think it was just the quantity of food that I was eating and maybe the food noise, the little snacks. Of course, they always say it's good to not eat after 8 o'clock at night, and midnight, 1 o'clock, I'm out here having a big sandwich and a snack. Now that I've lost the weight, I have this window to keep the weight off. I'm on a maintenance program really with the weight loss things, and so I don't have that food noise. But if we want to go to McDonald's, I can go to McDonald's and have a shake or a caramel frappuccino, which I really love. I actually had one this morning. And it's the exception, it's not the rule, it's not the standard. I can indulge a little bit, but I don't necessarily have all of these restrictions. And that's what most people fail on the weight loss program, is they say you can't. Well, it's just the caloric intake. That really is all you're weaning down, is how many calories you're putting in versus how many calories you're putting out. So at some point of your weight loss journey, if you've changed your habits, your stomach is skinnier, you're eating healthier, I think that more people are going to be successful on peptides and the GLP-1s if they are healthier persons to begin with. So it's not a big lifestyle change. I think it's the heavy obese people that have bad patterns and bad habits. They get on weight loss, they lose the weight, they stop taking the GLPs, and sure enough, they come back to their original plan because maybe they haven't changed their lifestyle. That window, they threw away that window of opportunity that they had. But with me, I've been on it for, I want to say about a little less than a year now, and I really am sold on peptides. I mean, it is amazing, and I hope the FDA approves these 6 peptides that they're re-examining. Other countries, it's legal, peptides. And it's just, even FDR, Roosevelt, or Kennedy, I'm sorry, he's used peptides for muscle injury. And so they're out there, they've been around, and it's amazing to me how many doctors are unaware of peptides. Now, I have had a lot of experience with death. I was in the Marine Corps, I'm a decorated Marine veteran, and I had adult family home, adult care facilities for 15 years, and I've helped thousands and thousands of people gracefully pass away in their last few years of life. And I've been with people as they passed away. But I've been with thousands of people during death. I've seen death, and it's motivated and humbled me to, I'm not going to wait for the FDA to approve everything. If it's working and I'm seeing all these people doing it, I'm going to do a microdose and start it myself. So that's what I did, is I got on tirzepatide, and it worked. I had no side effects. I went on a cruise and I lost 6 pounds on this cruise. I'm like, this stuff is amazing. It's like, I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, it's the cure for obesity. Why doesn't everybody do it? People are scared. They want FDA approval. We should have FDA approval. But if you're smart, you can buy your peptides. If you had a lot of money, you could buy your peptides. You could have the purity test done. You could have a research to make sure it's authentic or pure, and get your blood work done. You can upload that to ChatGPT. You're having 1,000 of the smartest physicians in the world, ChatGPT, examine your blood work and tell you, yeah, that's good, this is bad, you need to do this. I mean, you could use this artificial intelligence thing to benefit you, and it's a $20 a month subscription to ChatGPT. Why wouldn't you do it? I'd much rather have thousands of the smartest physicians look at my lab work than one doctor who might miss something. And that's the other thing, is that apparently physicians really need to start using ChatGPT, otherwise they're setting themselves up for a malpractice suit because they didn't rely on technologies that are out there. So that's a whole road that I don't want to go down. But anyhow, I started out with tirzepatide and was sold on it. It's too much to the fact that I started talking to other people about it, and I got word of a peptide company in Colorado, and my friends were having really good success with it, people that I trust. And so I went with that company and I bought tirzepatide, and I got the bacterial static water and mixed it in the vial. I'll take actually this is my peptide package, Penguin Peptides. And what you do is they give you every order you get the bacterial static water. And then here's a GLP-1. This is a tirzepatide. They call it GLP-1T. And you mix the water in here because it comes in a powder form, and you mix the bacteriostatic water in there. And depending on how much water is the strength of what you do. So for example, if you have 10 milligrams of trizepatide and you mix 3 milligrams or 3 milliliters of bacteriostatic water, it's a 5-to-3 mixture, and that's the strength of it. And you can ask ChatGPT, I'm mixing 5 milligrams of trizepatide with 3 milliliters of bacteriostatic water. What's the dose? And you can ask ChatGPT, what's the starting dose that most people are doing? What's a safe starting dose if I want to start really conservatively? It'll give you that information. You can say, now give me a dosing chart from 1 unit to 50 units, and record everything, document everything, and you can do it. Now, this is what I do. You need to consult your doctor. I started with a doctor on my peptide journey. And then as you educate yourself and know blood work and have blood work, you can have it done in labs and have ChatGPT analyze it for you. You got to be smart about it, but this is my journey, my personal research. I know there's a lot of people out there doing it. I wish more people would, and the FDA realizes we better get on the stick and get this stuff approved so legitimate pharmacies can compound it and make sure that the purity and the standards are there, because it's happening. The big pharmaceutical companies, this is a naturally occurring amino acid chain, so they can't really have a patent on it. But what they do is they market it as another drug. I mean, Mounjaro is a trizepatide, and Lilly makes it. And if you want a pure sample, you can 100% be rest assured you're getting a good quality product from Lilly, the pharmaceutical company, in Mounjaro. Now, if you're a cheap ass, you can buy it from a reputable company in Colorado and titrate it yourself. Mix in the bacteriostatic water and do it. $100 a month or less. And you can do this protocol yourself. If you're savvy with it and you feel comfortable, just like anything else in life, educate yourself, get help, ask ChatGPT, do what you feel comfortable with. You are making your own decision. I'm not giving you advice necessarily. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy who's been around for 56 years. I'm 56 years old, and I know how to do a lot of things. And this is one of the best things that outside of LASIK surgery, which I had done 20 years ago. That was amazing. I loved the LASIK surgery. I want to do the next surgery, the PRK, at some point. But like David Sinclair is doing rejuvenation or eye restoration, curing people who are completely blind, or rats and monkeys now have been completely blind. They've brought their vision back. And they're starting human trials now on that. And that is just the first start. I'm getting off on a subject. That's just the first start of the cure for aging. So that is where the cure for blindness they're doing right now with the FDA research on the first human trials is basically that is an isolated part of the body. If they can fix that, they know they can fix other things. So there's other organs they're going to go to after that, as basically the cure for death. So that is where we're headed. Now I'm going to get off on another tangent. So the other thing is Bryan Johnson. He is godsend. He's starting Blueprint. Hey, if I had millions, I'd probably be doing the same protocols as Bryan Johnson, but not to that extreme, because I want to live life and enjoy it. And maybe with David Sinclair coming out with the pill in the future that reverses aging. So if you're 80, maybe it brings your body back down to a 40-year-old and you stay there for a while and then age back up. Or maybe it's a maintenance program that you get on and you live indefinitely. Well, my personal goal is, I know that people right now, the oldest lady to live is 122 or 23 years old. It's possible. I'm 56, so I'm halfway there, right? So I got the other half of my life. Now, my goal is I want to live an extra 50 or 100 years. And there are people out there right now, if you live 10 years from now, they think they're going to have the cure for cancer with AI and genome modeling and everything else that's going on. And they're going to be able to reverse age. So if you live 10 years, you're going to see the cure for cancers, old cancers, and you're going to see the reversal of age. And it's easier for people, the younger generation, to maintain that age. It's harder for elderly people to reverse it, but it is possible with peptides, with the work from David Sinclair, the work from Bryan Johnson, and Peter Diamandis. Peter Diamandis on Moonshots. I love that podcast. You guys are geniuses, and it's nice to get in a room on a podcast with you guys. That is quite inspiring. So Peter Diamandis has what is known as the Fountain of Life, and they do a complete body scan. They, it's $3,000 a year. They scan everything and they test a lot of things. The main one is the Apex program, which is $10,500 per year, and they scan you, and it's pre-screening for cancers, for everything like that. If I had an extra 10 grand, my wife and I wish we could go get our complete body scans and get that tested. Maybe someday, hey, if I make it and everybody sends in support payments, I can go get tested like that. Or Peter, if you want to, use me as your generic contractor guy dude that found peptides and found AI and found all of these things and is putting this together for the average person. The average person should be able to do this. So those are 3 different people that I followed. Another one that I really like is a lady doctor in Mesa, Arizona, one city over because I'm in Chandler. Her YouTube channel is called This Is Not Covered. She is a peptide fanatic, and she gave up gambling as a result of taking peptides because it cured her dopamine rush. And I guess they're finding the same thing with people who are alcoholics and addicted to drugs, is that it takes away that food noise or the dopamine rush that you get from those type of things. And so GLPs are not necessarily just for weight loss. If you have a high protein diet and take the right dosage, maybe it'll cure gambling, maybe it'll cure different addictions, alcohol and drugs and things like that. Now, I'm not saying that I know that for sure, but there's people out there that it's working for them, and eventually the FDA might catch on to this and say, okay, we need to approve it for this. I think they are really, really safe because they're naturally occurring things in the body. Now, I'm going to start talking a little bit about the different peptides that are out there. I happen to be on 12, if you can believe that. I didn't start out on 12. I gradually grew over time. And one of the motivations was I wanted to lose weight. I was 240 pounds, and the weight limit for skydiving at Skydive Phoenix, which I went on with my daughter, she wanted to skydive, kind of her bucket list after high school. So I said, okay, I'll do it with you. So we went and skydived. The weight limit was 230 pounds, and I was 240 at the time. I'm like, crap, I need to lose some weight. So not only did I start out at 240, by the time I skydived, I think my wife was telling me I weighed 190 pounds when I skydived. And the guy that I was strapped to, it was his 12,100 skydive. The guy had skydived 12,100 times. I couldn't believe it. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to start peptides, as well as my feet were hurting. I had massage machines, and I'd have a massage on my back, and I would I get out of bed in the morning, my feet would be like pins and needles, and it was torturous having that extra 60 to 70 pounds on my body. I mean, it's like, it doesn't allow you to recover. So I started on Tesamorelin, went through that whole thing, and then I realized, crap, I'm going to buy some peptides through Penguin Peptides. And I got on that, learned how to titrate the bottle, add the bacterial static water to the vial, and I went on Tesamorelin at home myself, and it was working. So then of course, during this process, I'm becoming a Google student on YouTube on all of the different peptides. So, okay, well, let me try retatrutide, which is the best type of GLP, because there's GLP-1, GLP-2, which is tirzepatide, and GLP-3, which is retatrutide. And that is the king of all the GLPs because it has a third factor where actually while you're sleeping, your metabolism increases and you burn calories while you're sleeping without exercising. So it's literally weight loss in a bottle. So retatrutide is very successful because it has 3 different attack points for it to help you lose weight. So I got on retatrutide and no side effects whatsoever. And I'm like, crap, this stuff is amazing. I'm going to go on to the next one. So then I learned about copper peptide, which is what's the biggest organ in your body, right? It's your skin. So copper peptide heals your skin from the inside out. And they've been selling copper in lotions and all sorts of products you can put on, and it's amazing results. But you get tenfold result when you subcutaneously inject it, and it comes from all of your body from the inside out. So, and Copter is the only one that I've had a little side effect on. So at the injection site, sometimes there's a little red sensation area, and that's real common for a copper peptide. But my wife's on it, and she's like, my skin feels more plump. My wrinkles are going away. For me, I'm having to shave twice a day now because my hair's growing back, and I'm like, this is crazy, this skin and hair type of peptide. So that was a good one. I think it's called, let's see if I can find it here. And it's blue. It's interesting. This is one of the peptides that is blue. I take Clo as well. Let's see here. Tesamorelin. Let's see here. MOTC. Where is the blue one? Oh, GHK copper. So, and it's a blue little vial. This one here is 100 milligrams, and I believe I mixed 5 milliliters of water, so it gives you the dosing strength with that. But this GHK copper. So that is an amazing peptide. All right, so copper's in me now. All right, what's the next one? Well, I wanted to burn the visceral fat. There's a six-pack in here, and it's hiding. It's almost ready to come out, so it's starting to show up on the top part, but the six-pack is there. So it's the visceral fat that I wanted to get rid of next. And the visceral fat goes around your organs, and it's a bad type of fat. And so Tesamorelin is a visceral fat burner. So I am on Tesamorelin to specifically target, now that I've lost the weight, that fat, visceral fat area. So I'm on that. Now, all of these, I'm really taking micro doses, small ones. So I take this, whatever ChatGPT recommends as the small starting dose. I might increase a couple of them, but right now I'm doing 12 peptides and I'm microdosing them all. I feel safe. I do one at a time, no side effects. Then I do the next one, no side effects. So I'm really following a safe protocol. And I'm measuring I have a little strap-on blood pressure monitor, take my blood pressure twice a day. I just sit and press the button, you know. Now, fortunately with me, my particular situation, I've always had been very athletic, it was in sports and all that my whole life. Then I got married and got fat and had kids and all that. But I'm an athletic type of person, very active person, and is a little unusual. My resting heart rate is 55 beats per minute. A lot of times it's 60. So I do have a very low heart rate, which is very good because, you know, your heart beats only so many times, and the less it beats in your lifetime, you'll live longer, right? So outside of the new technology that's coming out to reverse aging, to set our clocks back to 0 or, you know, somewhere in there. So my blood pressure usually is 100/80, or, you know, somewhere around there, and 50 to 61 beats per minute. So it's a little bit slow. So I do watch it. I don't want my blood pressure and my heart rate to get too low. But I have had a lot of success with the copper. I have had a lot of success with the Tesamorelin. You know, a lot of these names, I don't know when they name them better. But let me see here, if I can find it. I just pulled these out, and so they're now not organized because I did a little video that I'll play from left to right showing the different ones. Tesamorelin. So that is the visceral fat burner. All right, so having done that, then I started researching it. Okay, well, let me try the MOTC, which is a mitochondrial energy type of one. And so I did the MOTC. Good results with the MOTC, more energy. Okay, so then a friend of mine says, well, hey, I'm taking the Clo stack. And I'm like, well, okay, what's Clo? K-L-O-W. There's Glow, which is another peptide stack, but Clo. So I buy the Clo, and the Clo has the copper peptide and the Wolverine stack, which is BP157 and the other one, and KPV. So it's the Wolverine stack. And that is a really good overall everything, because it has the copper in it as well. So when I started the Clo stack, I really didn't continue with the copper by itself because I'm getting it in the Clo stack. Let me see if I can find it here. Clo, PT, okay, Clo. And Clo is blue as well, just like the copper. The Clo is a wonderful one for muscle recovery and communication with the KPV, and the copper with your skin. So then, okay, what's next? So the next one I went to was NAD. Now NAD, everybody has taken NAD in a pill form forever. So if I can find it here, NAD plus. So this one is 100 milligram. And so this is anti-aging in a bottle. So, you know, it's going to help us live longer. It helps with communication and cellular regeneration, killing zombie cells, all of those things. So I'm on NAD, took a starting dose, no side effects, just benefits. And then I went a little bit more, tested some things out. So then I went on the melatonin 2. And it's amazing. I do one injection, and in Arizona, I get a little bit of sun, and my skin starts getting dark. I'm like, this stuff is crazy. Now I don't want to do a lot because I don't know about the cancer issue, but I did a little bit, and the side effect is, you know, benefiting down there. So my wife and I, we are very affectionate. We are very active sexually with each other on a regular basis, man. I probably have more sex than anybody out there. So my wife, we're equally yoked in that department. It's crazy. So you'll probably see a lot of it innuendos on our cruise videos. If you go to Burgess Cruises and look at our cabin, we have a lot of fun. So I'm very blessed that my wife is equally yoked in that department with me, and we just love each other. So, so the side effect of the melatonin 2 is erectile issues. So it works. It really does work. Now, 2 of the peptides also that I've had a little bit of side effects with, and it's just upset stomach for an hour after taking it. It's so funny. I'll put the melatonin 2 in just the tiniest amount, and I'll get an upset stomach for an hour, and then it goes away. So it tells me when I'm putting that in my body, it's working. I put it right here, and then I have an upset stomach for a half hour, and then it works. These things work. They are naturally occurring substances in your body. If you're short on them or need them, they work. I can't say anything else other than they work for each of their purposes, as long as you're getting good quality products. Now the next one, so the erection issue, the benefit of erections with the melatonin 2, they took out, I think they singled that out and made the PT141, which is the other one I alternate with. Let's see, I should have had these at PT141. So that's the PT141. So that's kind of the sex one. So that is a good one to take if you are 56 years old and you have sex almost every day. That's a good one to do. So, I mean, I've got the tirzepatide, I've got the retatrutide that I started taking instead of the tirzepatide. Now, some people do microdoses of both, so I might alternate a little bit occasionally with the tirzepatide and then go back to retatrutide, because sometimes they work better synergistically and not just the retatrutide by itself. And then we've got the copper, we got the Clo, which has the Wolverine stack in it, and the KPV. I got the MOTC, and I got the NAD. And then another one that I started learning about was let's see right here. Well, I took the melatonin 2, and then the PT141 is the Semax. Let me find that. Semax, where are you at? It's got to be this guy. Semax. So this was developed in Russia, and it is a cognitive awareness, your brain function. It helps create new neurons and transmitters in your brain. They've given it to people who had strokes, and it helps them recover faster because of all the new neuron pathways that are created as a result of using Semax. Now, that I took on a microdose, and it gives you clarity and also clearer thinking. It's not, I mean, I can't really say too much about it because it's been in Russia, it's been used for a long time, and millions of people probably have taken it. But it is a little bit controversial. It's for the brain, and it's a smart one. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to take a microdose, and I'm not seeing any side effects of it. I'm seeing benefits from every single peptide. There are other peptides out there. There's a lot of them. But that's kind of what I'm starting with, are these right here. Now, the next one is sleep. So it's DSIP, Delta Sleep Induced Peptide, and that is the next one that I took. And now I have a smart ring, and I bought this on Amazon. It's $40, and it records my sleep and my heart rate and my oxygen level and my stress level and things like that. And you know, I've been taking this DSIP, Delta Sleep Induced Peptide, which helps you get the more of the deep sleep. And I'm getting scores of 91, 94% sleep efficiency. I'm not quite up to the Bryan Johnson standards of, you know, perfect sleep scores, but I'm not following his $1 million protocol. But I'm on peptides. I take the DSIP at night, half hour before bed. I don't take it every night, maybe a couple times a week, but those nights, my REM and deep sleep are significantly higher. And, you know, my sleep efficiency is crazy. Like, I'll fall asleep in 2 minutes. And I think that's because I'm active, I have a lot of sex, and I eat well, and I'm on a lot of peptides that are helping my body recover. And I feel like I'm getting younger. And my goal, this is the next road we're heading down. I'm average guy, you know, average Eric. And I've lost all this weight. I'm doing all these protocols. I eat pretty healthy. I gave up soda. I don't have a lot of alcohol. Occasionally, I'll have a beer, you know, ultra. I do like a pina colada and a chocolate mocha drink when I get on the Carnival cruise ship. I love those chocolate mocha drinks. And to get a little buzz going, and my wife and I, we get frisky, and, you know, it's enjoying life and just living and having a good time, because there's a lot said to having happiness in your life. It reduces the stress. I've always seemed to deal really well with high stress loads, being a Marine Corps and seeing a lot of combat, that my stress level is really low. I mean, I take a lot of stress. It takes a lot to get me elevated. However, these products and all of these things worked really well. So I'm getting really good sleep score with my ring. So recording it, and my wife is doing the same thing. So she doesn't have a ring like I do, because these are kind of manly rings, you know. She's got her beautiful, like, 6-carat ring, which she absolutely loves. And so long story short, these peptides are working great. And the next road that I was starting to head down was life and longevity, and Bryan Johnson with Don't Die, and David Sinclair with the pill that's going to reverse aging. And the cure for blindness that they've proven, and they're starting human trials on anti-aging. So, and Peter Diamandis with the Fountain of Life. These are all things with AI in the next 10 years, figuring out the cure for cancer. And I can't wait to the point where I get my, they call it a digital clone. It all scans me. It knows everything about me. It knows my DNA. It knows all my genetics and history and lifestyle. And they make a digital clone of me. And they say, okay, Eric, we've discovered that you have pancreatic cancer or prostate cancer. And the AI models a cure for that specific to my digital clone. 2 hours later or 3 days later, my specific vaccination for my prostate or whatever cancer I have is given specific to me that cures me. They've tested it out digitally on my digital clone, because that's with the invention of AI, supercomputing, and maybe quantum computing, hopefully in the future. Those type of things will be able to be solved right away. Now, my goal is following a lot of these protocols that these people are following with the peptides. I want to live, I'm 56, I want to live to 150, 200 years because I enjoy life. I enjoy my wife. I want her to live a long time. And, you know, we're just on the cusp. You live for the next 10 years, you're going to find exponential growth in the length of human lifespan. So there are a lot of research and a lot of things that are going on right now. So with the AI, I mean, I use ChatGPT every day for things. I mean, I'm amazed. I tell it this and this and this, and it gives me the results. And I'm like, okay, that actually works. So I was out working on my air conditioning system, and I said, here's a picture of my AC unit and the pressure levels and the subcooling and the superheating. You know, is this, and the line set distance, it told me how many pounds to use. I mean, it gives you exactly what the next step is. And if you don't understand it, you can say, explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old. And it explains it to you like you're a 5-year-old. I mean, it really spells it out. So, and they also say, it's kind of interesting. So we raised 5 kids, my wife and I. They say that the newer generations, their best friend in life is going to be an AI avatar. And that AI avatar will be able to predict you, know you, all of these things. So, I mean, I started with my house. My house, everything in my house is voice controlled, except for my wife, but everything is voice controlled. All of my light switches in the house, I tell the device to turn this off, this on, my stove, you know, everything. I've even installed a faucet that's Alexa enabled faucet for my customers, and it's quite amazing. So I just have all of these positive things to share. I wish people who are on their deathbed right now could learn about peptides, that could say, doctor, what do you know about peptides? You know, is it going to help me? You know, there are so many benefits to it, and not a lot of doctors know about it because they only learn about things that are FDA approved, which is stupid. They need to learn about naturopathic. They need to learn about peptides. They need to learn about Bryan Johnson's protocols. We have sick care right now. We don't even have health care. We have sick care. That's what's wrong with you? Then we'll figure out how to mask and Band-Aid it. Rather than health care, which says, okay, let's maintain your health. Let's follow these protocols, and we're going to set you up to be a digital body clone so we can test things that are going to maybe project what's going to go wrong with you in your body. You have genetics of predisposed to melatonin or whatever skin disease you might have, and so they give you the cure for that. So let's get going on healthcare. So, and hopefully Kennedy Jr., he's a big advocate. He's had a lot of success on peptides. So let's push to get those peptides FDA approved, and so we can have them compounded in compounding pharmacies, and the doctors will know the protocols for those type of things. So, okay, so if I'm going to live all these years, so I'm 56, one of the next things, well, we got 3 channels. I keep switching back and forth. So Burgess Cruises, which is our vacations, Burgess Builds, which is contracting, my wife's cooking, and Burgess Acres, which is our homestead up north that I love having the land. I'm going to have an ATV track and a rifle range and an archery range, and we're going to camping there and build a cabin and homestead and solar power. And I'm blessed that that property is on the edge of grid, so I can have power lines ran to it as well and drill for a water well. So there's a lot of adventures we're going to have on Burgess Acres. So what I'm getting at is our next, in 10 years, I'm putting that out there that I want to be like Sailing Doodles. I want to have a live aboard catamaran, maybe fly to Florida with all my contracting experience and boat building. I've rebuilt a few boats when I lived up in Seattle, a cabin cruiser, and get a live aboard catamaran, a 50-foot live aboard catamaran, and get it in Florida or somewhere else and get it fixed up and sell it down maybe to the Philippines, and maybe 6 months out of the year, my wife and I are cruising around on a catamaran and having an adventure of our lifetime, and then dry dock store it at Rocky Point, Mexico, which is 3 hours south of us here. So the goal is 10 years from now is to have a live aboard catamaran docked in Rocky Point that we can go enjoy 3 to 6 months out of the year and enjoy life and experience that part of life. And then keep our home here in Chandler where we enjoy the summer. We have a big swimming pool that as adults, we actually still use the swimming pool. It's nice in the summertime that we get in there, and it's like a hot tub for us. And I have a really big pool. I'm blessed that I got that. And then have our homestead up north. So if the shit hits the fan, I've got my off and on-grid property up north that will be pretty much autonomous, that I can get away from civilization or on the catamaran. So not that I'm an end day type of person, but I'm a Marine. I want to protect my family, and I want to have fun and live life and enjoy it. So hopefully this inspires you to set things right, give up the alcohol. I mean, I have a drink every now and then, but sugar is the worst thing, is the biggest, worst drug in mankind. Sugar is just killing us. Insulin resistance is a big thing, and you won't notice until you start giving that stuff up. So try to eat healthy foods. I mean, I love to have a big steak every day, but you know, I'm not rich. I eat reasonably well. I stay away from fast foods. So all of these things is kind of a life plan. And hey, incidentally, we're going on a Carnival Panorama next April 10th out of Long Beach, and we have a lot of our cruise friends joining us on the Carnival Panorama, and we're all staying in the Havana Suites, which is the back end of the boat, which is kind of a private resort area. It's kind of cool. So we have that cruise. I've got all these cruises. We live on a cruise on Carnival for 14 days to Spain. We go to Celebration Key, and then 5 days at sea, 5 or 6 days at sea, and then we go through Barcelona, Spain, Morocco, and all these things. So we're getting ready to do that. So I got these vacations planned, and these catamaran, I got off-grid properties, I got fixes at the house, I got my wife's cooking, I've got all of these things that I'm really blessed with, and a second lease on life. I got skydiving opportunities and all that. So I wanted to share my story, my 2 cents on what protocols I'm following, and maybe that might inspire some of you to get on the right path. Give up all those sugars and the alcohol and the vapes, you know, and the weed and all that. Now, sometimes I'll put a little weed drops on my elbow because that makes you help sleep at night. So there are medicinal benefits to different things, but you got to do things in reason. If you're getting high every day and drinking and hitting the sugar, you're just killing yourself. You know, you're going to die early. But if you want to live an extra 50 to potentially 100 years, live 10 more years, and that's going to be on the palate. It'll be on the plate, ready, available, that we all, as maybe Americans, maybe not other countries, but a lot of the world can benefit from. So I was disappointed with Elon Musk when he said he's not interested in longevity. He says people don't change. I said, well, if I could talk to Elon Musk, I'd say people do change all the time. We evolve. It doesn't take generation after generation after generation to make changes. What if we cured longevity and we wanted to space travel, Elon? What if we wanted to space travel to Mars or a distant planet or another galaxy? Well, if we cure death, right? And we live to 200 to 500 to 1,000 years, space travel is not such a big idea. Put you into coma, wake up 3 years later. If you're aged while you're in coma, reverse the aging when you wake up. I mean, there are a lot of benefits to longevity. So I wish, Elon, that I wish you'd pay for my Fountain Life plan with Peter Diamandis, and help some people in the research in peptides and the research with David Sinclair and these things, because the protocol, the blueprint protocol that Bryan Johnson is trying to do is out there. It is within reach. We are going to get there. You just got to live another 10 years, and maybe we might have some support from these Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. Come on, let's make some life-changing longevity contributions, because we are on the cusp of that. And I honestly believe that. So hopefully we could get there together, and I've inspired maybe a few people to do that, maybe live a happy life and move forward. So having said that, Semper Fidelis, and over and out. We will talk with you later.